one of the biggest problems we had was they were unused to being blown up. And people that told us, look, you know, we were driving in a truck with somebody, and the next thing I found was his head in the pool of water and his arm on a tree, and for half an hour I really didn't know what I was doing. Now, much as we understand the human reaction in that, we can't accept that as a way on which a organized force can work. But now, with more experience of this, or being blown up more often, shall we say, so they are much more in control of themselves. And the reprisals, these refugees in July '83 went not because of military ones, but because ordinary people had some action. That, I must say, I'm fairly confident is a matter of the past. It's all over. I think the majority of the people in the rest of the country accept that it's absolutely counterproductive to deal with innocent people walking down the road.
Considerable evidence that they've hit civilian targets. The hospital Jaffna has had a great deal of aerial damage. That can't be justified in any strictly military sense.
Well, I wouldn't try to justify it myself, but where there is a virtual war
it's done in the
on,
name of your government.
It's done in the name of a government. There's no doubt about that. And the government does not take refuge and try to justify it. All that I can say as a minister in the government is that there is a real situation where a group of people are trying to create a separate state and holding their own people in terrorem, and the government has to take action.
This for a long time, that it is only an assertion on the part of the LTT. You see, there is absolutely no evidence to warrant it. The LTT has come nowhere near a referendum or an election, not even by proxy, all these years. How are you to test that claim? The very fact that the Tamil people are quiet and they don't make a noise and so on is surely attributable to the fact that they are afraid. They are frightened. People don't, you can't expect the Tamil people to be heroic in the face of the guns that the LTT carries. It would be cruel to expect that kind of conduct on their part. But when there was a test, some kind of test, the LTT failed it badly. What was that test? That was when the army was approaching Jaffna 5 years ago, and the LTT decided, at gunpoint mind you, and this is very well documented, to take the Tamil people of the northern of the peninsula with them into the jungle. Some 400,000 or 500,000 people they drove out of their homes in Jaffna into the jungle with them, expecting that they would be a human shield, that they would demonstrate their loyalty to the LTT. But what happened in fact? The moment the army went into Jaffna, all the people just flocked back to their homes. I mean, it's the most dramatic thing. If you saw the photographs of that at the time, it was rather like the photographs one saw after partition of India and Pakistan. You know, people going back with everything loaded on bicycles, on lorries, on bullock carts, on their heads. A whole stream of people flocked back to their home. What does that show? That shows, to my mind, that A, they did not want to live with LTT in the jungle. B, that they did not believe the scare stories that they could not live with the army, which the LTT was assiduously spreading. And for 5 years, I would say that the people of Jaffna lived perfectly well with the army. There have been exceptions, there have been aberrations. Wherever there is an army, you will get incidents occurring. But by and large, the Sri Lankan army behaved very well in Jaffna.